do we live this life? How do we be successful? How do we enjoy the joy of the local church? How am I to grab a hold to everything that God has for me? So glad you asked. I can work it out. First point, I can work it out when I focus on the pattern. The apostle says that you and I can work it out when I focus on the pattern. He says, verse 12, therefore. What is that? Therefore. I just told you that the apostle Paul, when he came into chapter 2, he started talking about unity, telling us how we ought to work with one another, how we ought to serve one another, how we ought to work with one another and do ministry together. But then he gave us an example of the Lord Jesus Christ and told us what Jesus did. Because I can work it out when I know my position. Because Paul is trying to remind the people at Philippi, he wants to remind them of their position before he tells them what their responsibility is. See, there's a responsibility you and I have as being children of God, as being the people of God. And I must know that I'm loved, not only loved by my spiritual leader, which is Paul is their spiritual leader, but Paul also is letting them know that they're loved by God. And so whenever I know that I'm loved by God and I know my position, whenever it is that I'm trying to walk out my responsibility and I'm not successful with my responsibility, I must know that doesn't change my position. That's all right. Yeah, I'm gonna circle the block one more time. I'm gonna come back and pick you up. Can I tell you? In other words, Paul is telling them of their responsibility. He's saying that you're my beloved. This is a term of endearment. This is a special kind of love. This is a kindred spirit kind of love. This is tender affection. And you see this with the apostle Paul and this church of Philippi. So Paul is getting ready to give them some responsibility. Paul is getting ready to tell them what they need to do. But before he tells them what they need to do, he tells them who they are. So whenever it is that I can't do or I fail at what it is that I'm supposed to do, that doesn't change who I am. That doesn't change my position. That love is evidence of salvation. Here Paul is telling the church at Philippi, I love you. You're beloved. And it's a twofold love. It's a love that the shepherd has for the sheep. And he's also saying that the love that God has for you. Talk about a few attributes of God's love. God's love is what? Eternal. God's love is lavish. His love is lavish. And here I gave you this other definition, this other word for lavish, because I just saw it. It just jumped out at me. It means prodigal. Oh, when we think about the prodigal son, we think about him getting what it is that belonged to him. Watch me. What belonged to him. He took what belonged to him and he went to a far country. And here prodigal just simply means waste. It just simply means it's just wasted. And here can I tell you that God gives us so much love that when somebody on the outside will be looking at how God deals with us, it's just like, why is he wasting all that love on her? Why is he wasting all that love on him? Oh, I'm going to preach myself happy. Why is he so good to them? Because to the untrained eye or to the uncircumcised heart, we look at how God deals with us, and we'll say, oh, that God, that's just sloppy good love there. That's just sloppy agape. Oh, but no, his love towards me is lavish. It's prodigal. It's scandalous. Yes, sir. God shouldn't love me. God, I don't know why. I told y'all this morning on prayer. I don't know why Jesus loved me. I don't know why Jesus cared. Oh, I don't know why he sacrificed his life. But I'm so glad. Anybody other than me, so glad that he did. God's love is positional. I don't always fit in. I'm a little different. You know, I don't always fit in the clique, in the crew, in the crowd. I don't always fit in. You know, I am who I am. You know, I've always been a little different. You know, I've always been a little shorter. I've always been a little this or a little bit of that. I've always been a little different. But can I tell you, when I come to God here, I don't have to squeeze in. I don't have to wonder whether or not he's gonna like all of my little idiosyncrasies. I don't got to know whether or not he's gonna like all of my little proclivities. No. He says, I'm already accepted into his beloved. So it's his love that gives me access to him. It's his love that gives me to a place that where I can fellowship with him. It's the love that God opens the door and say, come in, son, come in, daughter. I already love you. I already knew what you was going to do and I love you. I already knew what you were going to do and I love you. I know what you did last summer and I still love you. You've been accepted. So if you never accept me, I'm accepted into the beloved. If I've never become one of your friends, I'm accepted into the beloved. If you never invite me to your shindig, I've been accepted into the beloved. He's already accepted me. I don't got to try to fit in. I'm already in.
On behalf of everyone at Truth and Love Ministries, we want to thank you for joining us for our virtual worship experience. We want to thank you for your likes and your shares, your comments and your emojis. But we also want to invite you to partner with us as we continue to be the hands and the feet of the Lord Jesus Christ. You do know that he told us that we ought to feed the hungry, we ought to clothe the naked, and we ought to be the church. And you can help us to continue to do just that through your generosity. And there are 3 easy, safe, and secure ways that you can do just that. You can text the word TILJAX, one word, TILJAX to the number 77977. You can go to our website, www.truthandlove.tv, or you can go to the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, search for Truth and Love Jax, download our app, and you can give that way. We thank you for your participation. We thank you for your generosity, and we love you, and we'll see you next time. Here comes the church. God bless you.